I do believe in the product. I believe there's a need for, we see it again, 267 early stage investments. These teams are constantly looking for solutions that can increase efficiency. They don't have a ton of capital or headcount. And so that's the other reason. I just believed in the market opportunity, the business itself, the technology, and of course, Arjun and his team.
I think the new user interface is going to be a game changer for the company. What we have today is very difficult, I think, for people that are unfamiliar with the software to really begin using, and where we've been directing people to kind of go through. Now, what we've got coming together is going to be very streamlined and going to make it easier to use, easier to sign up, easier to upgrade, easier to add some additional functionality to their accounts once they have signed up. So I'm excited about that.
Historically, what you saw when Steve Jobs was alive is you saw something called skeuomorphic design. I'm just going to put an initial here for the purposes of that. Skeuomorphic design was very much about the elements, right? The wood textures, the leather, and whatnot. You remember the first iPhone that came out, it had all those elements. And then once he passed away, you had flat design by Google. And what we're seeing now is essentially a combination of the two approaches coming together, which is known as neumorphic design. So what we're essentially doing right now is combine the two. And of course, Jack is working really hard. He's working with them to figure out what are those Zendesk tickets and issues that customers are facing, and how can we make it simpler? Besides making it look really nice, is focusing on UX. How can we make it easier to use? Because we haven't really updated the user interface and the user experience in almost 3 years. Yet we've done almost $1 million in revenue. So we can do a lot better, and everything can be a lot better. Michael, are you here?
So I'll kind of walk you guys through where we're currently at. So first things first, we spend on average right now about $10,000 a month in ad spend. We're currently seeing about 400 additional customers added on a regular basis, meaning every month. Currently for November, we're already at 430. So we'll probably be in the 500 plus range of new customers. These are people who've never heard of us. So when it comes to our marketing, we do a lot to focus on top of the funnel and growth and really acquiring those new customers as cheap as possible. Currently, our CAC for November is around $20. It's a little bit less, around $19.90 or so, which gives us about a 2.56 ROAS. These are some of our top performing ads. We started doing a lot of comparisons. One of our biggest benefits of our platform is our price, honestly. So you look at Hootsuite and a lot of these competitors, they're on average $100 a month. So the fact that they could get HelloWoofy for a fraction of the cost, we started doing a lot of these comparison charts, right? Where we're comparing apparently what you get in comparison to these other platforms. We're also doing a few little tricks around that as well when it comes to our funnel. So we offer, this is like our landing page here where we have the offer that we're running. So this is kind of like our base plan, this is our middle plan, and this is our tier plan. And then we're also making changes to even our funnel as well. So this was our original funnel. You know, it's a very long, it's just a screen grab of it, but we're really honing in a lot on the copy. Like, what are we saying? What are like the things that matter to consumers, right? So, you know, a lot of this here was a lot of it around social media scheduling and different things like that, which makes sense, right? That's what all the other platforms do. But after talking to our audience and figuring out what is it that they use HelloWoofy for, from a lot of them, it's mainly just getting more leads, more sales, and more followers, right? So we're just driving that point in, is that this is the platform to use that for. And we did a lot too on, we call this information architecture, but it's essentially restructuring the page so that, you know, Arjun, he pitches you HelloWoofy, and you're like, I got it. It makes 100% sense. I'm sold. So it's restructuring how that pitch is into a landing page that flows well and explains in a way that's practical. So going in like step 1, create, step 2, schedule, step 3, optimize, and so forth. So those are some big changes we've made, and we've seen huge improvements in that as well, which also contributed to that CAC coming all the way down to 20, which we've never seen before.
We've put a huge focus into customer support. That's something that's pointed out, and why we're able to do WeFunder is because we have such a great community. And when I came in, there was a problem where we actually had pretty historically high churn rate. And that's because Arjun stretched himself out too thin. And so it was getting to the point where a lot of customers were not intentionally being ignored, but emails were piling up. And so that's one of the processes that we now have in place. Instead of 146-hour response time, we now boast a 5-hour response time on average. And we're continuing to grow those operations to continuously upkeep and make sure that we are always there for our customers. And that actually has paid off. So we're seeing a lot of customers staying, which is great. It increases the stickiness of it, and that allows us to go into this new year with a lot of new programs, this new UI that's going to most likely go further down.
As I mentioned, there are 3 things that we're focusing on right now from a increasing revenue perspective, just using the existing platform as it stands. So the back end is really important. We got to make it faster. We have to make it more scalable. The MVP, as we built it 3 years ago, it needs to be updated to allow for that. And where I would say about 90% of that is good to go, and there's still some percentage left to improve. The front end is all about UX, making it super simple to use, easier to use, faster to use, and a little bit of UI as well. Although beauty is really great, functionality is more important, and we're going to be focusing on that for sure. And the last thing is, as I mentioned earlier in the call, is the affiliate dashboard, making sure that every individual has a opportunity to refer other people and then get a discount on their membership. So it hits home really quickly, and then after they pay off the whole membership, essentially through referrals and commissions, putting money into their bank account as well. Going forward beyond that, that's the existing platform. We are looking at other revenue generating opportunities like a commenter addition for paid advertising, and as Troy talked about, smart speakers on Alexa. So let me tackle one thing at a time. The commenter side of things, one of the things that we realized that a lot of small businesses are not doing is when they run Facebook ads. Let's say this is a Facebook ad on Facebook, or it's an ad or it's a post on LinkedIn. What they're not doing is answering all of the comments below it. And we're talking a couple of dozen, or we're talking thousands of comments. You can take a look at any competitor of ours. You can take a look at you open a Facebook right now, you'll see that the company does not respond to those Facebook comments. Even if it's a simple thing like, how do you compare to this? How can I sign up for a demo, et cetera? So some very repetitive questions. What I did and still do till this day, and you can see this on any of our Facebook ads or any of our posts, is respond in video format to these individuals. Now, the thing about the video responses is that they have to be 20 seconds because that's all the Facebook app allows you to do. And you have to wait for one to upload before you can respond to the other one. This has resulted in investments. I would say between investments and revenue, because of people saying, hey, who is this kid responding to everyone? I want a demo right now. I want to talk to this founder, et cetera, et cetera. I would say it's about 50 to 75K. On the high end, probably 100K worth of value that we've been able to garner simply by responding to people in video format. So why not build a solution to that? That's where we're going to be working on early Q1. And I think that will get us into the paid ads market without building another paid ad scheduler, because everyone has a paid ad scheduler, but no one is focusing on where the revenue is really coming from on the unique aspects. As you know, we're always about the unique aspects that drive revenue for our small businesses. And then the smart speaker side of things, I would say that's about 95% done. We're continuing to work on that as well. But majority of our resources are going into what is driving revenue right now, which is 99% of our sales coming in right now. Another application that we did recently build was SelfTac, which is essentially a selfie app for networking. When we used to go into conferences and networking events, we would take a selfie and that would go into the photos album, and then we open up the notes app and write down the contact information, and the two may never connect, and you totally forget who the person was, you forget who the contact information was, where that information was with the selfie. So essentially what we built is a SelfTac application that essentially takes the selfie, it turns the photo around, you enter the contact information, then it'll do all the work for you in reaching out, pinging, texting, emailing with the selfie and your contact information with the LinkedIn and Calendly link for booking a call. Right now, we're charging nothing for it. The strategic angle behind SelfTac, and you can see this on our WeFunder campaign as well, is to get thousands of people to download this and get thousands of other contacts to get into the application itself, which we can not only use for the purpose of retargeting, but also introducing HelloWoofy. So if it costs us very little to acquire this individual or this potential customer, then it allows us to also keep our CAC down as close to zero as possible. So there's not just we're building it for the fun of it, we're actually building it for a strategic angle, almost like an ebook. Russell Brunson gives away an ebook for $10 for shipping and handling or $20 for shipping and handling. If he were not to do that, he would be spending 100, 150K on CAC, but he spends $20 in CAC because the majority of those people, once they use that product, they get upsold to ClickFunnels. We're taking a page out of that as well. All right, guys. So like I said, please go to WeFunder.com. Even if it's $100, anyone can invest as low as $100 into the campaign. We really do want to get that up to the 50K mark as soon as possible. There are benefits to that, as if you weren't here in the beginning of the call. Every dollar shows momentum, and it gets other people encouraged to invest as well, because we are on a mission to help every small business owner around the world. So I do appreciate that. Well, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. Virtual hugs from New York City.